Every summer we are bombarded with blockbuster movies, most of which don't really try to do anything different than what we've seen before. However, there is always a couple of surprises, and that is what this film is. Rise of the Planet of the Apes is definitely the surprise film of not only the summer, but of the year so far. I went into this film expecting it to be rubbish. I really did. I am a massive fan of the Planet of the Apes series. Although I did hate Tim Burton's remake, thought that was offensively bad. This movie, however, I went into with low expectations and was not only pleasantly surprised, but I actually loved this movie. Now, this is a prequel which is designed to tell the story of how the apes became intelligent enough to take over the world, resulting in the world that we see in Charlton Heston's original Planet of the Apes movie. It's about a scientist played by James Franco, who we all know and love from like Spider-Man and 127 Hours. He's trying to develop a cure for Alzheimer's because his father, played by John Lithgow, suffers from the disease, and he wants to, you know, try and give his father a better quality of life and all the rest of it. But in order to do so, he has to test the drug on apes, and it turns them basically intelligent. So that's the plot of the movie. What this film does really well, and I always thought was a bit odd in the trailer for this movie, they basically say, instead of saying from the director of whatever or starring whoever, it said from the special effects place, Weta Digital or whatever, who did Avatar. I thought it's kind of weird to market that. Like, the audience is going to look at that and think, oh god, in that case I need to see it. However, the special effects in this movie, the effects on the apes are some of the best special effects I think I've ever seen, full stop. Some of the best CGI. They use the motion capture technology that they did use on Avatar to make the apes in this, and the apes are played by like Andy Serkis and other actors. Andy Serkis we know and love as Gollum from Lord of the Rings. What this film does really well is the ape stuff. The human stuff is kind of lackluster. James Franco, he's a fantastic actor. He's proven in 127 Hours that he is one of the best actors kind of working today. I thought he was fantastic in that film. In this, he's kind of just a bland, blank canvas onto which the audience can project themselves. And while they do spend quite a lot of time, the entire first act of this movie is James Franco building a relationship with his own ape named Caesar, an ape which is the offspring of one of his test subjects. He takes this ape home and they build a friendship, a relationship, and this is how the film starts. This is how it snowballs. And I thought that stuff was quite good, although James Franco just isn't given anything to really do in this movie. He's there literally just for the audience to get a foothold into the story, because once we get into the second act and Caesar is put in an ape habitat with other apes, the humans are gone. You know, we are literally watching a film where all the characters are apes and they communicate using sign language, which obviously, you know, some apes can use, and James Franco's character has taught Caesar to use. But all the apes communicate using this sign language, and that is the film essentially from that point on. And I thought that stuff was fantastic. It really was. The relationships built between the apes and building the dynamic of the apes, and it's just so interesting that I could have watched an entire 2-hour movie with just apes. And I hope that if they get a sequel to this movie greenlit, that's what they do, because the human stuff was lackluster and was just going nowhere. You know, you need humans in this film in order to get bums in seats, and that's essentially all they were there for. The ape stuff is fantastic. Having said that, out of all the human stuff, there is a standout performance, and that's John Lithgow as James Franco's father, who suffers from Alzheimer's. Now, John Lithgow is a fantastic actor. You know, he's been great in everything I've seen him in. He was so sinister in Brian De Palma's Blowout, and he was excellent in when he played the Trinity serial killer in Dexter, the TV series. John Lithgow is a great actor, and he is the best human actor in this movie. He is so convincing when he's playing somebody with Alzheimer's that what could have come across as quite a ham-fisted or half-baked performance instead comes across as, you know, he's clearly researched it, and there are very subtle nuances to his performance which, you know, really don't belong in a summer blockbuster yet, you know, by today's standard that is, but here they are. You know, this is an intelligent film, and I think that John Lithgow's performance is one of the standout elements to it. Andy Serkis is amazing as Caesar the Ape. At no point did I think that I was watching an actor imitate an ape. You feel like you're just watching apes. It's so realistic and genuine. The special effects are amazing. The way they build the dynamic between the apes is so interesting. And when you get into the third act and everything kicks off and the apes escape into San Francisco, it's very well done. You know, we have the humans attacking the apes. The apes aren't really hostile, they just want to get to the forest so they can live out their lives. And, you know, humans kind of accidentally die in the wake of this. You know, the first casualty of the movie is an accident, and this, it seems like the whole war between man and ape is going to be built on an accident, a mistake, which I find quite interesting. Should they continue this film with sequels, which I hope they do, and it's not often I see a summer blockbuster and I think to myself, I hope they do another one. I would love to see where this story goes because it was so well done. The action is fantastic, and I actually found myself caring about the apes. There's one giant gorilla, I believe, called Buck, who you know, when you first meet him, he literally is just a rabid animal. But by the end, you care for this character and you get a little choked up watching him interact with Andy Serkis playing Caesar. It's so well done that they managed to make you care about the apes. And I have to say as well, by coming out of this movie, you know, that most people came out of this movie and you could hear them saying, "Whoa, that was really good, that was brilliant, I didn't really expect much from it, but it was ace." You know, I actually stood outside the cinema, the doors to the actual screen, and just to eavesdrop on what people were saying about it. And the reaction to this film was very, very positive, and I do think it is the surprise of the year. This movie will most likely be on my top 10 of the year. I loved Rise of the Planet of the Apes and was so pleasantly surprised and can't wait for any sequels that may be in the pipeline. I really do hope that they do more, because I would want to see more of this story. I want to see more of the character of Caesar progress. And also, just before I do finish this review, I did really appreciate the tips of the hat to the original series, such as lines like "Get your filthy paws off me, you damn dirty ape," and also there's a character watching the Ten Commandments which starred Chuck Heston. I appreciated all that. It didn't feel shoehorned in, it didn't feel out of place, and it's not easy to do that. It's not easy to have an in-joke in a big summer blockbuster like this and have it where it's not distracting, so that was another little achievement. But Rise of the Planet of the Apes is definitely the surprise film of the year. I highly recommend it and can't wait for more. It's basically prompted me to go out and buy the Blu-ray box set of Planet of the Apes and watch the originals again, because I do love those movies and I loved this movie, so it's highly, highly recommended.